Okay, so now what we're going to do, we've kind of defined our initial goal, and I'm going to keep this paper up. Okay, so now we're actually going to get into our checklist. So this is an example here. Our SMART goal, increase original artwork sales by 20% in 2022 from the previous year without going to debt. So like I said, we're going to review the budget and update. And so that addresses the budget constraint. And then we're also going to evaluate our income from Etsy, Redbubble, and my website. The next item on the checklist is evaluate the budget to determine if sales increased 20% from the previous year. So very measurable right there. Okay, then we're going to evaluate the sales channel to see which was more effective and why. So when we talk about sales channels, we're really kind of evaluating, was it Etsy, Redbubble, my website? What sales channel was the most effective? And the reason why we want to do that is because if we're trying to look at the overall 20% of increasing our sales, what did we do different for this particular sales funnel? And did it work well? Do we need to tweak it? What worked well? Did we have a good sale? You know, Redbubble kind of, and Society 6 kind of decides when we're going to have those sales. Maybe those sales numbers increased because of that sale. We don't know, but we got to do the evaluation, and that's where the monthly thing comes into play. So I'm going to continue this exercise with, like, I want to have 1,000 pieces in my Redbubble shop by end of 2022. So this is what I would go to as I evaluate that particular goal. I want to have 1,000 pieces in my Redbubble shop by 2022. Now I'm going to get out a couple things here. I'm going to get out a little notebook here, and I need a calculator because what I'm going to try and figure out is how can I make this a little less scary, because 1,000 pieces, that seems insane, right? So what we're going to do is make it realistic, and I'm going to pull up my calculator here. Okay, so let's just say, well, you can't really see that. Let me do something else. 1 second. Okay. So I've got my calculator up here, and what I want to do is, kind of break it down, make it a more bite-sized chunks. So we know there's 12 months in a year, right? So I can take 1,000, divide by 12. Okay, so that means I would need to have 83 items up per month. So, okay, so that's 83 items per month. So that means that how many per week? So on average, there's 4 weeks. So if we take 83 divided by 4, so that's 20 items per week. Okay, so you see what I just did there? That is automatically, here's my 1 month checklist item, and this is my 1 week checklist item. Okay, so my monthly checklist, I'm going to break this down. Create 83 items per month in Redbubble. And I'm going to break that down even further because there needs to be some research done in this, right? So if I know I want to do 83 pieces per month, I've got questions. So I'm going to add in some questions section. It's totally fine to have questions, okay? So the question 1 is, how many items can I create with 1 piece of artwork? Okay, that would be one question. Another question, what are the top sellers? So what are the top selling items? And the reason why I'm asking these things is, how many items can I create with 1 piece of artwork? So I can probably take 1 piece of artwork and create 20 different items, and so this is going to be super, super easy with just 4 pieces, right? But just because the quantity is there doesn't necessarily mean that I'm creating quality products, right? So that's why I want to, or spending my time wisely. So I really want to investigate and find those top sellers first. So my action items, even before I get to my monthly checklist, is for this goal is to do the research. So I'm going to add another monthly checklist item, research top sellers for the month. And what I can do is look, find data for the previous year, and that kind of helps me decide, well, in January, people are probably looking for Valentine's stuff, right? In December and November, they're looking for Christmas stuff, right? So that helps direct what I'm actually going to create for the following month, right? So research top sellers for the month and next month. That checklist item's probably going to take me 30 minutes. If the timeline comes into mind, write it down, okay? Because it makes it seem less work, right? Okay, so we're going to research our top sellers, and then we're going to identify 4 pieces of art for the month, okay? Because we could probably take 4 pieces, create 20 items, and then we easily have our 83 items for that month. This way we also have all the research done up front, so when it comes time for that week, we can just do the work, right? Okay, so those would be my checklist items to achieve the overall goal of having 1,000 pieces per month. So you see how I did that? I took my initial goal, did a little bit of math, broke it down into something that's actually achievable, and then ask the questions that I don't know the answers to, and then do the research. And that even might be a question in here, is to do the research, or a checklist item to do the research. And then you really kind of want to take all the guesswork out of what you're going to do and identify what you're actually going to do each month. And that's a checklist item. So create, research, identify is my monthly checklist for that. Okay, so that's actually just creating the parts, right? Now, if I go back and look at this other my SMART goal, so it plays into this goal, doesn't it? Where I'm creating items that could thereby increase my 20% to my 20% goal, right? Pretty cool, right? So all of these things play into my overall vision of living the life that I want to lead. Okay. All right, so that's what you're going to do next. You're going to take your SMART goal and you're going to put it into a monthly checklist form, very similar to this. How you do it, if you do it in this document like this, if you throw it in the spreadsheet, if you use project management software, that is totally up to you. It just needs to be done. Okay? Okay. In the advanced section, in one of these next sections, I'm actually going to show you what I do with these. And like I said, I actually throw all this stuff up on a whiteboard and really, really work it out. I will spend a good couple days doing this thought process before I actually do the work. The planning itself is imperative to the execution. So take the time, do the planning. All right. Okay, so let's go create our monthly checklist, and then we're going to go into our weekly. All right, see you in a second.